to Race Time Radio. You'll hear from the best in Canadian U.S. racing this week. Grab a cold one and stick around.
You're good. They got a car in the wall in 3.
The starter tower has signaled. We're ready to roll. It's Race Time Radio. It starts right now. Here's your host, Joe Chisholm.
Everybody on the same one. Keep her in one piece.
And good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Race Time Radio, all live tonight, right here in the Race Time Radio studio, all on SiriusXM, channel 167 Canada Talks, as well as our YouTube channel. Check it out at RaceTimeRadioTV. You can do that at any time, or tune in on RaceTimeRadio.com on our live stream. Again, tonight, Junior still not here in the studio. That foot still is giving him all kinds of grief. He is healing up. He said it does feel a little bit better, but no dice going up the stairs at his place. And then, of course, coming here to the Racetime Radio studio and coming down our big flight of stairs down into the Racetime Radio studio. So, no Junior tonight here in the studio. But I wouldn't doubt we'll catch up with them at some point throughout the course of tonight. We can always dial them up and bring them up on YouTube and check in with them there over at his place. So that's what we're kind of looking at doing a little bit later in the show. Let me tell you who we got coming on tonight. Got a stacked lineup. Going to take you right across the board here in Canada and give you some of the preparations for heading down to Smyrna Speedway. Nicholas Nogle, driver of the 08 in the Pro Stock Tour out on Canada's East Coast. Nicholas has been making his way down to New Smyrna for quite a few years now for the World Series of Asphalt Stock Car Racing. Nicholas doing some testing today, and as soon as he completes that, he's going to be jumping into his hauler and going to dial us up, and we're going to have him live right off the top of the show tonight. Also going to hear from Kaden Lapsovich. Yeah, the 2016 Pinty's champion up here in Canada. Well, Caden's been a busy guy. He's not only been racing a bunch down in the U.S. and up here in Canada every now and then. Kaden now is a crew chief for Venturini Motorsports. He's going to be crew chiefing Tony's car, the 55 at Daytona. They went down and did the test just about a week ago, and it worked out really good for Kaden. You would think, a young guy from Canada may not have what it takes to crew chief a car down on the big track, Daytona International Speedway, but in fact, Cayden Lapcevich and Tony in that 55 car, top of the board at 183 miles an hour. We're going to catch up with Cayden Lapsevich here tonight on the program. Look forward to catching up with Cayden. Then we'll talk about the NASCAR Pinty Series. Yeah, the schedule is out. Don't know whether you've seen it yet or not. A good-looking schedule. Real similar to last year, but they've added a second dirt race out of Sweekin Speedway. That's going to be a blast. It looks fairly close to what we've seen in 2022. But it is going to be slightly different. I know they were working on dates that were going to be in addition to what we're all used to seeing, but it didn't materialize, at least not yet. But we're going to check in tonight with the assistant director. Doug Gonder is going to join the show. I've known Doug for years. Actually met Doug all the way back when I was at Daytona International Speedway, and Doug was with the ARCA presented by Menard Series. Back then, he was with the officials and got to know Doug down at Daytona. And, of course, he's been with the NASCAR Pinty Series up here in Canada for a long, long time. But he has progressed all the way up to the assistant director position. He, along with Tony Spiteri and the full team in the NASCAR Pinty Series, getting set and ready to go for 2023. So we're looking forward to catching up with Doug on the show tonight. And then Jason White from Sun Peaks, BC. Jason preparing for Daytona. He's going to be in an ARCA car. He's also going to be in a Camping World truck, a Craftsman truck. Got to adjust back to the old way of doing things. But Jason White going to join the show here tonight. So that's what we got in store for you. And I can see our first guest is all up on Zoom, and let's welcome in the driver of the 08 from all the way out in the Maritimes now down in Florida. It is Nicholas Nogle. What's going on tonight, Nick? How you doing, buddy?
Good, and yourself?
Doing good. Doing a little testing today, were you? How did it go?
I wish I could say that we were. We drove down here to Georgia. I'm actually sitting in the parking lot of the track right now, and it rained hard all day long.
Oh, man. It sucks when you can't get your testing in. Do you have an alternative date? Are you going to be able to maybe go tomorrow if it shall arise?
Unfortunately, I think today was our only real test day before the race. But, I mean, Friday, they're giving us an open test beforehand. So we shook the car down yesterday, and I was pretty happy with it. So I'm looking forward to getting racing here next weekend.
Oh, I can well imagine. Nick, how many years have you been going down to New Smyrna now? It's got to be in, what, 6, 7 years now, maybe? We probably run it twice or 3 times before COVID hit. And then this will be our first year back. I'm looking forward to it. But, I mean, we've been coming down to Florida racing every winter probably since 2014 or 15, in that range. But first it was Winter Nationals and the Legend cars, and then we came down to New Smyrna and started running that deal. Yeah, and you've done a great job. Each year progressively get a little bit better for you, a little bit better. That 08 car knows its way around New Smyrna Speedway. So do you. You know what to anticipate. That's why it tests to be so valuable, I guess.
Yeah, yes, sir. No, it'll be fun racing here next weekend in Georgia. It's just a little bit more like home, a little smaller track, a little bit of banking. It'll be fun. But we ran the red eye there at the beginning of the year. It was good to get back on the track in New Smyrna. It's its own beast, but it's so much fun. The first time I ever showed up there, I thought it was way too fast. It was crazy, and then by the end of the week, you're having fun. And now I find every year when I go back, you hit the track and remember why you love it.
You know what? I got my wires crossed up. You're in Georgia. I just sort of figured it out now. What track are you at?
We're actually at Chisholm Motorsports Park. It's over here in Cordell, Georgia. We're going to run Speed Fest next weekend. Kind of on our way down to Florida. We'll get down there and we'll get the cars prepped and be ready to race here in a couple weeks' time.
You said it too. Cars, not just one. You got plural there. Are you going to run Pro Late and Super Late? You're going to run them both?
Yeah, that's the plan for this year. We're going to try and get as many races in that week as possible. I figure by the end of it, we should have run 15 or 16 races. It'll be a busy week for sure, but I'm looking forward to it. It's a big step moving into a super. Even though everything else is the same, you have to drive them so much different.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be different, right? You can feel it in your butt. Is there much speed difference between the two, the Pro Late versus the Super Late?
There, I didn't really notice as much speed, but it's just a different driving style. I've driven Super for a couple years now, but when you get to these tracks where I felt I was pretty confident in the Pro car, you'd roll in there with a little bit of brake and carry a lot of corner speed. It was all about momentum, trying not to break it. But then when you get to the Super there, you're entering with probably maybe 5 more mile an hour corner speed on entry, but center of the corner, you're so much slower trying to get the car pointed because you have the horsepower to come up off.
Yeah. It's wild. I love watching you on that racetrack, and so far so good. I've been able to tune in each time for Speed Weeks, and any luck at all, we're going to be able to do so again. On Flow Racing, I believe that's who carried it last year, and hopefully again this year. You'd have a lot of viewers tuning in to watch you. Of course, a winner in the Pro Stock Tour, the East Coast International Pro Stock Tour. You've won there. What's your best finish so far at Speed Weeks? I want to say second.
Last time we were there, we actually started the week out with a win, and then finished fairly well the rest of the week, and then the final race, we finished second there at the 100 lapper.
See, that's what it stuck in my mind. I forgot about the win right off the top. And it's always special when you can win at a big place like that. Now, with Speedfest, any experience at that Georgia track?
I ran back here, I want to say 4 or 5 years ago. I ran one race, but that was it. It's been long enough where I'm looking forward to get back to it. I've watched lots of races here, and it's a lot of fun. And we kind of came down here. When we originally came down, we didn't intend on running it, and then last minute we decided, well, we might as well have some fun. We're here anyways. There was nothing planned this weekend, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to go down, and we're going to have some fun and see what we can't do in a super.
Nick, it's going to be awesome. Hopefully, do you know if there's any coverage of Speedfest? I don't know whether there is or not.
I believe either Racing America or Flow is definitely going to cover it. There'll be coverage on one or the other.
I'm going to have to find out and get everybody tuned in so that we can watch you down there. What is going to be a successful trip for you? You got the win in mind, or are you going to be happy with the top 10 finish? What's the thoughts heading in?
I mean, you can't go into these things thinking you want to run around the back, that's for sure. We're going there. There's going to be some heavy hitters. There's some big teams down here, but if we came out of here with a top 10, hopefully a top 5 finish, I'd be very happy, considering we're just our little family-run team. I mean, it's just us and a bunch of friends, and we're truly trying to bring that side of racing back and try not to do the whole big team thing. I know there's a lot of teams down here that they are truly at the same level as NASCAR now, and we're still just trying to do this for fun.
Do you get many guys that sort of, Nick, they've got to notice you there. Do you have any sort of interest or influence from outside the circle that when you get down into the U.S. to go, hey, Nick, welcome back. Can we give you a hand with something here? Or do they sort of leave you alone?
No, over the years coming here, we've definitely made a lot of connections. I can't thank everyone that helps me enough. Like I'm good friends with Travis Braden. He used to run ARCA. He won Snowball Derby. Just great driver. He's helped me a lot. Butch and Johnny Van Doren, they've given me endless support. I can't thank them enough. They're always on the other end of the phone if I need them. They're here at the track if I need them. They're just great people. Dennis Lambert, Mark Narshed Racing, all them in the Legend cars, they still to this day will help me if I give them a call. I mean, there's just countless people down here. Christy and Woody, they're the reason that we started coming down here, and the bandos, I still see them, and Carson Ferguson, and there's just a list of people that I know if I called them, they'd be here giving me a hand if I need it, and they've given me lots of support, and they've helped me develop as a driver. Yeah,
pretty wild. You know, when you look at the U.S. Legends Series with the Bandoleros up into the Legends, you a true epitome of someone that has gone through the different steps and up into what you do today. And, man, those laps, the experience you gained in those other divisions have really paid dividends for you. You're exciting to watch on the track.
I appreciate that. No, I'm a true believer in the program and working your way through the steps. I've been helping Samantha McDonald and them in her bando, and she's starting up into a Legend car, and I've preached just get them down here and run, and the Winter Nationals deal is the best thing you can do. It's 5 nights in a row, and believe it or not, I believe you learn more in the single week racing back to back to back than what you do with 5 weeks, because you go home at night and you think, okay, well, what did I do today that I can change tomorrow? And that was the whole ordeal with the speed weeks for us. It's awesome because you start the week off and you're kind of rusty and you think you're good, but then by the end of the week you can look back and see how much you've improved.
Yeah, and you do. I love watching you. Watch the progression from the time you stepped into one of those pro stock cars. And Nicholas, you are one of those guys that man, you got to put that 08 into the realm of possibility to not only win races, but to look at the big picture and do championships. It's exciting. We're with Nicholas Nogle, driver of the 08, going to start his weekend out at Speedfest next weekend in Georgia. But that isn't it. He ain't heading home after that. No. Going to go a little further south and participate at New Smyrna Speedway for the World Series of Asphalt Stock Car Racing. Who have you got down there with you? I know you mentioned you got some friends with you. I know your dad's a huge part of your team. Who else you got with you touring with the races that you're going to do?
Yeah, no, we intend to do a lot of racing this winter. We're not stopping there. We're going to keep racing down south and working our way back up north. But I mean, I got my normal crew here. I got my father and my mother. I can't thank them enough. My girlfriend, they're just endless support down here, giving me all the help they can. Me and my dad work hours on this car, just whenever we can. And then I got all my normal guys, my entire crew. I can't thank them enough. And like I say, all the people I mentioned off, they just, if I need them, they'll be here in an instant. And we enjoy it still. It's not a job for any of us, and it's just a good experience. I can't thank them enough. I can't thank my sponsors enough either. Bricon Construction, Mobile One, just everyone on the car, McDonald Automotive, APX Services. They're the reason we can come down here and do this.
Nicholas, do you ever see the day that you're going to be down there and participate not only at New Smyrna Speedway, but we've seen so many guys go from the short track and head over to the big track and do some racing at Daytona International Speedway. It's Speed Weeks. I know you guys love it, and I know it takes a lot to keep the short track car on track, but do you ever aspire one day to jump in one of those ARCA cars and go around that 2.5 miles?
I'm definitely not against it. I've always said that there was an opportunity to race anything, whether it be a wheelbarrow or a race car, I'll do it. I look forward to it. But at the end of the day, I am just trying to do this to have fun. And once I lose picture of that, what's the point of doing it anymore? So as far as looking on to the next thing, I'm not concerned about it as much as some of the other drivers down here. I'm really, truly enjoying what we get to do, traveling the country, seeing all these tracks and racing against the best of the best. And if the opportunity were to ever come, I'd love to take it. I'd be more than thankful. But as of right now, I'm not too concerned about what's next. I'm just enjoying the moment.
Yeah, and you're going to do a great job. I know you're going to Speedfest. You're going to do great. And man, oh man, I can't wait to see you at the World Series of Asphalt Stock Car Racing back again. Thoughts for springtime up here in Canada? Are you going to go after a title in the East Coast International Pro Stock Tour? And what's your thoughts on the new series popping in there, giving you more opportunity to race?
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to getting home. It's fun racing down here and getting the experiences and all that, but the tour at home, it's definitely a different experience when you have a group of people who follow you and pay attention and really begin to know who you are. And the competition at home is just as good. It's just different racing. It's not better or worse. It is just different, and it's just as hard. And there's no doubt I'd love to race and try to attempt for a championship this year, especially with the new rules package and the changes that are coming. I think it's a real possibility. But we've never changed our thought process. We're going to each race just trying to win it. We don't look at the big picture. We're just going to go to every race and we try our hardest, and whatever happens at the end of the season happens. But I'm looking forward to getting back home and racing on the East Coast Tour and going to run a couple of those new tour races. And it's going to be cool seeing the two tours racing in unison and seeing the differences that come with it.
Yeah, it's going to be. I know my first initial thought was, wow, I don't know whether that's going to work. But the more I thought about it, I thought, you know what, it gives you guys more opportunity. They aren't dates that overlap one another. It's a situation where, man, if you want to go racing, and I know you guys love it, you'll take a notion to go, hey, we can go again this weekend. Let's go try and take that checkered flag. And, Nick, that's what's cool about the 08, man. You get her done. And when you come back home, after doing all the racing you're going to do over the course of the winter, it's going to make a difference when the 08 hits the track out there in Halifax. I can guarantee it.
Yes, sir. No, I've always been a true believer that seat time is the best thing that you can possibly do. And by racing down south all winter, I find there's no learning curve getting back into it when it comes springtime, and I appreciate it because I do find we're right there as soon as the season starts. And the best way to put it is there's no rust to knock off. It's just another day in the season. It's great. I look forward to it in the spring, that's for sure.
Nick, good luck at Speedfest. I know we will have it dialed in. We'll be watching you and cheering for you. Go down there and do what you always do, man, and that's wheel that 08, and you leave nothing on the table. You never do. I can expect that you're going to give it all you got, and then onward into New Smyrna Speedway. I'll be bugging you to try and get you back on the show and update us as the process goes along. Sound good?
Yes, sir, for sure. Anytime, feel free, and we'll give you a call from the track or wherever we're at and show you guys around.
You betcha. Thanks so much for this tonight, Nick. Appreciate it. Good luck. Go after it, man. Go get it.
Yes, sir. Thank you again for having us.
That is Nicholas Nogle. Man, oh, man. You want to talk about a driver that can get the job done? Watch Nicholas. He can get the job done. Going to be awesome. Speed Fest next weekend, and then onward and upward into the World Series of Asphalt Stock Car Racing. We're going to hit a quick break. When we come back, Cayden Lapcevich, we'll talk about Daytona. He, in the car that he is crew chief, top of the board at 183 miles an hour. It's going to be a lot of fun catching up with Cayden. Stay right with us, everybody. We will be back all live tonight on Race Time Radio.
Hey, race fans, this is Larry Burial, and you're listening to Race Time Radio on SiriusXM Channel 167, Canada.
From coast to coast, you're listening to Canada Talks.
Race Time Radio is brought to you by RPM Race Parts. Order today, race tomorrow. Also by VP Race Fuels, the worldwide leader in race fuel technology. And by Dawson Dental Centers. Get your victory lane smile at dawsondental.ca.
When you think NASCAR, think SiriusXM NASCAR Radio.
This may be the most important thing that's ever happened to damn right, baby.
The races.
The Daytona 500 win. I love that we have playoff racing now.
The talk shows.
We'd love for you guys to participate as well.
The unprecedented access.
Well, I'm here at the red carpet with the fans.
SiriusXM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90.
That thing did a video game move.
Also streaming in the SXM app.
I think they're happy down here.
Even though Napa is a nationally known name, nearly all of our stores are built from the ground up by local owners and families. People you might call neighbors will be here, there, and everywhere. Doing what neighbors do to keep their communities moving forward. To stop by a Napa Auto Parts store, you can count on Napa know-how.
Tonight's Race Time Radio is brought to you by Napa Auto Parts Stores, New Glasgow, Ganesh, and Port Hawkesbury, Nova Scotia. You can count on Napa know-how. AP Race Fuels, the worldwide leader in race fuel technology.
Nothing connects like country music. Dig in to SiriusXM Country Universe. The next generation on the highway, Channel 56. This millennium's hits on Y2 Country, Channel 61. Or 80s and 90s Prime Country on Channel 58. Tap into these and more in the country category on the SXM app, included with all trials and popular plans.
A Canadian that made an indelible mark across the world, Alex Trebek is best known as the host of Jeopardy, a show he hosted over 6,300 times since his debut in 1984. Alex won 5 Emmy Awards over that stretch and is still perhaps the most popular game show host of all time. His work with charities such as World Vision was tireless, and his foundation continues to benefit children across the globe. Alex Trebek, 2006 inductee on Canada's Walk of Fame.
Taking you all the way to the track and back. It's Race Time Radio.
Start talking.
I got to start talking. Welcome back, everybody, to Race Time Radio. So glad you could tune in tonight, all live on SiriusXM Channel 167 Canada Talks. And, of course, our new YouTube channel at RaceTimeRadioTV. And our next guest. How about this guy? The 2016 NASCAR Pinty Series champion. And he is definitely a familiar name to all of us here in Canada. His name, Kaden Lapsovich, and he joins us right now via Zoom. Kaden, what's going on? How you doing? You're looking good, kiddo.
Thank you. How are you?
Doing good, doing good. You're looking more and more like your dad every day, just so you know.
I hear that a lot, actually, now.
I wouldn't doubt it. Wouldn't doubt it. So, how did you like the big track? Man, you're crew chiefing now with Venturini Motorsports. And, you know, I got to tell you, Kaden, I heard that, seen everything, and I went, Caden's going to do a good job with that race car. But I don't know what he's going to know about Daytona International Speedway. That's a tough nut to crack. Lo and behold, you go out there with the 55 car. You got Tony in the seat. Ba-boom, top of the board. That must have felt tremendous.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I was sort of shell shocked, especially the first day when we were there walking into there, because it was kind of just one of those like dream come true kind of deals. I mean, I would have much rather be racing, but just to have some involvement there is pretty cool. Luckily, you know, the guys at Venturini are really sharp. Really smart. They have really good equipment. They've obviously done this a long time, so I still have a lot to learn, don't get me wrong, but I was able to pick up a lot just in my first couple weeks at the shop before the test, and then leading into the test. You know, I'm pretty adamant about asking questions and, you know, and planning out scenarios. You know, if this doesn't work, then try this. And luckily for me, there's a lot of really knowledgeable people there. So they made it easier for me, like helping me with test log runs and stuff like that and reading data and all that stuff. So it was really cool. I'm pretty excited to go back to the race. I feel like we have a pretty good race car, so I'm looking forward to it.
Caden, you're a driver and a real accomplished, experienced wheelman, whether it be a super late model watching you in the 16 car down in the U.S., or whether it's on this side of the border running a pro late or a super late, or it doesn't seem to matter. You've been there, done that, and done a great job in it. What's the transition been like? I know you've been down south working. You know, you work for Rowdy, you were doing setup, you were doing all that kind of stuff, so you are familiar with the race car. It's not just a wheelman. You know that end of it as well. What's the transition been like from behind the wheel to on top of the box?
You know, thankfully for me, I've always, or luckily I guess I should say, I've always been very involved in my program. Like when I was racing myself, like that was one of Dad's big things. It's like, if you want to race, you're going to have to work on it too. So, you know, I've become pretty mechanically inclined growing up with race cars and stuff. So transitioning in onto the top of the pit box has been a little bit easier than, you know, kind of what I expected. I've had the opportunities to work with guys like Cody Glick and a lot of pretty well-accomplished super racers down in the States that have done stuff in trucks and Xfinity and all that. So I've been able to, you know, to kind of see how they run the show and how they would do it, you know, when they were truck racing and stuff. So that's been a huge benefit for me, you know, and I've had a lot of good mentors back at home too. Junior, Bobby Blunt, my dad, my uncles, you know, everybody's really mechanically inclined and taught me a whole lot. So it's been easy. Like I said, I'd still rather be driving, don't get me wrong, but, you know, if I can stay involved in racing in some sort of way, it's, you know, it's a win for me, I think.
Well, this doesn't mean that your driving career is over. I can guarantee it. If there is a seat for Kaden Lapsovich to jump in, I can well imagine Caden's going to say, okay, I got the day off, here I go. And Venturini would probably love that. Just knowing Billy, knowing his dad, knowing Tom, knowing the whole bunch down there, they would probably say, good for you. Go learn some more, Caden, and go win.
Yeah, you know, Billy was, when we met, he was pretty open with me. He said, you know, learn as much as you can wherever you can. So anytime I get the opportunity to race, I'm obviously going to take it. I feel like that helps me become a better crew chief, you know, being able to, you know, see wheel inputs and all that and be able to read data and know what it's all doing. So having the driving aspect, I think benefits me just in the sense of, you know, when a driver is breaking down like a scenario, like what the car is doing. I found sometimes there's people that have a hard time, you know, trying to read it and figure it out what they're saying, where as me being a driver, I think that's a benefit for me.
Oh, huge. And, you know, from the driver's perspective, to have somebody like you on top of the box to understand when I say, you know, the car's doing this or the car's doing that. for that translation to be able to go, okay, now here's what we're going to do to fix it. Is there a huge difference? I know you guys only had a test down at Daytona, and you would have been a sponge. You would have been learning all kinds of stuff. But looking at your short track program versus the 2.5-mile beast of Daytona International Speedway, is there much that sort of goes, yeah, this will work over on this side? Did you have to make many adjustments to hit the top of the board? And is it comparable kind of stuff?
To an extent it is. Obviously all the geometry works the same, right? So everything's got to flow right and move at the right angles and turn and all that. So, setting the front end so it does what it's supposed to properly, I guess would correlate over to like short track stuff. But there's some tricks, with springs, because ARCA mandates all your springs you have to run. So trying to, get the car to do what it wants and to get it as low as possible and stuff. There's some stuff I've picked up that I don't think would translate at all over to the short track stuff, but in a sense they all work the same. It's about making it go fast, so whatever worked, right?
Oh yeah. You got to do it, and as long as it makes it through the room of doom, you're golden. And I know you guys are very, very good at what you do. The homework will be done. You can guarantee it. You realize something, though, Kaden. I know a lot about Venturini. I've been following these guys for years, and I know that when there's a victory, the driver and probably the crew chief's got to kiss the big Italian. You got to be prepared for stuff like that, buddy.
Yeah, hopefully we can find victory lane a few times, so that'd be cool.
Yeah, it'd be a lot of fun. We're with Cayden Lapcevich tonight. He is going to be on top of the box for the 55 car. It's Toni. How do I pronounce Toni's last name?
I think it's Breidinger, but I'm not 100% positive either.
Yeah, we just call her Toni. Toni, she does a great job behind the wheel, and I know we're all going to know Toni's name by the time we get to the end of the ARCA 200 that's going to take place at Daytona. But New Smyrna Speedway is also just around the corner and down a bit. I know you will probably frequent there. Do you have any plans of jumping behind the wheel of anything?
No, not right now. Obviously, I'm going to try and be over there as much as I can, at the nights when we're all, like ARCA stuff is done for the day. So, obviously short track racing is what I grew up on. It's what I love. So anytime I can even be at the racetrack, like New Smyrna or Pensacola and stuff like that, I'll take the opportunity to. I'd like to drive. I don't know if it'll happen, but as Grandpa always told me, never to leave home without your race equipment, so I'll have it there with me.
Yeah, have your helmet and your fire suit in the bag. It won't hurt because you can always get the call. Kaden, you have earned your way to where you're going and what you're doing. Is it a full season you'll be on top of the box for the 55 car? What's the plan?
As far as I understand, I have Toni for 11 races, and then I have another girl from the Drive for Diversity program for a few, and then another person, I don't know who he or she is, for a few too. So I think it'll end up being a full season. As far as I know, that I'll do like the whole ARCA National Series, some East races, and then maybe a couple West races. So it'll be a busy year, just being on top of the pit box, and that doesn't include, I have a lot of buddies around here that do modified stuff. So on off weekends, I'm sure I'll find my way to the racetrack with them too. So it'll be a busy, fun summer, but I'm looking forward to it.
There's nothing called off season, not for you.
Never.
Yeah, I can well imagine. It's going to be exciting. I can guarantee you that. I talked to Bobby Gerhardt. I talked to a lot of drivers in my day down at Daytona, and I'd always ask them this question: what's it feel like the first time you go to Daytona to compete? And every one of them have said it doesn't hit you until you go through the tunnel and you come out and you see those turns and you get the feeling of Daytona International Speedway. Did you get that feeling when you went through the tunnel this time?
Yeah, you kind of, like when you, especially the first time, and it'll probably be the same way for a couple of years, I would assume, but you go down through the tunnel and then up, and it's like you said, everything just opens up. You know, you see all the infield camping, the big track, the towers, you know, the World Center racing. Like, it's pretty surreal going through there the first time. It was kind of like I said, it was a dream come true, you know, to be competing there. Obviously not driving, but, you know, in a way. But it was just, I was, like I said, I was shell-shocked. I couldn't believe it. I didn't know what to do. You know, I was nervous, but it all turned out pretty good in the end. But just shell-shocked. That's the only way I can put it.
Yeah, and to be at the top of the board has got to feel so good. As crew chief, as a member of Venturini, the top 4 cars were all with a V in it. And that's good, man. You got people that you're going to be able to work with. And what's the strategy meetings been like, or has there been any yet heading into the big race?
You know, obviously, I think it's kind of a given that the 4 Venturini cars, you'll probably see them hooked up together all day. I feel like, especially at the draft, our speed, you know, when we were locked up together was really good. I feel like we even have pace to where if we can get 4 cars in line and get the energy working the right way and get our runs right, there's probably a decent chance that we could pull away from the field if everything gets working properly. So I think, as far as I know, that's the game plan right now. But you know, it's the ARCA series at Daytona. You never know what'll happen.
Yeah, it's exciting. I can tell you, there's been a few years watching the 200, and you know, the hype and stuff. You know, been there for the practice before the race, covered that, having a look at the guys doing qualifying. And then people get seated, and okay, I'm going to be working with this guy because they're 5-pack. They're going to catch up. But I've seen it, and I got to, look back to Cole. When Cole was driving the 73 car there, he had a golden opportunity to win that race. He had the car to do it, but he didn't have the help. The help fell flat, and in the closing laps of the race, everybody sort of went, okay, I'm comfortable where I'm at. I haven't wrecked. I want to come out of Daytona with a good finish. And it didn't seem to matter what anybody else was saying on the outside. Hook up with this guy, hook up with that guy, and go to the front. Everybody stayed content. But that was only 1 year. And normally, in that ARCA race, you want to talk about a dogfight the last 5 laps of a race, it is on at Daytona. And it never disappoints. It's usually one of the highlight races of Speed Weeks for me. When I'm down at Daytona, it's so exciting to know that you're going to be part of that 55 crew and to see the golden opportunity that is in front of you. Man, oh man, you've earned it, and it's going to be so cool to watch you and watch with the fruits of your labors on that racetrack with a good driver behind the wheel.
Yeah, it's like I said, I think we have 4 really good race cars. Venturini, you know, they're the best of the ARCA series, right? So when we showed up to the test, we were really happy with single car speed. Our draft speed was phenomenal. And like I said, if we can keep 4 cars in the race until the end, I see it being hard to beat any one of us. Obviously, I want to be the first one across the start finish line with 55. But if we can do an organization 1 through 4, I think that'd be a really good day.
Incredible. Got to ask you about home life too. You are one of us up here in Canada. You're the 2016 NASCAR champion up here on this side of the border. Your brother, Cayden, is doing a great job. You got another one coming up through. Your dad, Jeff, just the whole family. Have you been talking to anybody up here about you? They're constantly texting back and forth.
Yeah, like me and my dad are really close. So me and him talk just about every day. You know, he's always been there for me when even just stupid little questions that I probably know, but I overthink. So, you know, having him there in my corner has been really cool. Obviously, one of the toughest things for me moving back down here this time was I really enjoyed being involved in trading and riding racing back home. So, you know, for me, it was a tough decision based on that because I really want to see them do well. And I hate not being there. I hate watching through a computer screen or a TV screen. Like it really bugs me. But you know, I think they're gonna do great. Obviously, Trayton's pretty accomplished already. He's really sharp behind the wheel. Riding is still he's got, you know, pretty good speed about everywhere we go. Just the racing situations, kind of, he just needs to figure out how to work them sometimes. But, you know, he's progressed really well, and obviously I feel like he's got one of the best families in his background, you know, that is able to teach him, because between me, my dad, Uncle Jimmy, Trayton, we've all been in some sort of situation, so he'll be good. And, you know, I just hate that I can't be there, but, you know, I guess there's a way to watch always.
Hey, bud, I'll tell you what, it isn't going to hurt in the future when your older brother is down on the other side of the border and is hooked up with the right teams and gets the whole scenario going on. I'll tell you what, you still play a critical role in the family's success. I can guarantee it. You're in a good place right now, and it's going to pay off huge in the future, Cayden. It's going to be cool.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think, like, right now, especially with being with Venturini and stuff, I have a lot of resources that I'm able to lean back on. And in some ways, I feel like the resources that I have here, I'll be able to use to help Trayton and riding back home, you know, with sim work and data and all that stuff. So obviously I'm still going to try and be involved as much as I can through the phone. It's not as easy, but, you know, Dad knows how to do it all. He's done it a long time. So between me and him, I feel like we can make a race car go fast about anywhere we go. So that's just the only difference is I won't be there to help him.
I agree. You will be there. You'll be there. I can guarantee it. You're going to be there well ahead of the race, and you're going to be there throughout the course of it, whether it be on video, whether it be on television. Cayden, you're going to play a key role, I can well imagine. And we'll all be watching what you can do down south. We're super proud of you, champ. We really are, and I look forward to seeing the fruits of your labor on that racetrack. You got to do us a favor. Say hi to Billy and all the guys at Venturini Motorsports. Let them know we're thinking about them, and we'll be definitely pulling for that 55 car with Kaden Lapsovich at the top of the box. It's going to be cool, bud.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, Cayden, thanks so much for the time tonight. I know I'll be bugging you later, maybe with a win at Daytona. Wouldn't that be cool?
Hopefully, that's the goal, right?
Pucker up. The old guy loves it. You have a good one, and be safe down there, will you?
Thank you, sir. You too.
You betcha. That's Kaden Lapsevich. Watch for that 55 Venturini machine. I'll tell you what, going to be cool. Cayden's got a ton of knowledge. He ain't done learning yet. He's got more to absorb, but that guy can get the job done. I guarantee you Tony is going to be in good shape, having Cayden on top of the box. Good job, Billy. You picked the right guy. We're going to hit a break. When we come back, I got an announcement that I got to tell you all about that I'm really excited for. And we've got Doug Gonder coming up from NASCAR Pinty's, the assistant director, and we got Jason White coming on the show. We got lots more to come. Stay with us all live tonight on SiriusXM Channel 167.
Hey, race fans, this is Orton.
You're listening to Canada Talks.
It's time to get back to the racetracks. For over 30 years, Quick Fire Starters have fueled the sport on and off the track, making lighting your campfire as easy as 1, 2, 3. There's no need for kindling or paper. Just pop your Quick Fire Starter in the pit, add your wood, and presto, you're a pro. Quick Fire Starters. No harmful chemicals, and guaranteed to light your fire every time. Quick Fire Starters, the world's best fire starter.
Rev TV, your motorsports and automotive destination. Watch live races from around the world and right here at home, from 2 wheels to 4 and so much more. Rev TV is your source for motorsports. Rev TV features exclusive race series, up-to-date news coverage, documentaries, how-to programs, and adrenaline-filled lifestyle programs 24/7. Go green with Rev TV. Contact your TV provider to order.
Tonight's Race Time Radio is fueled by AP Race Fuels, the worldwide leader in race fuel technology.
If you're a Springsteen fan, you just found the promised land. Hear rare interviews and performances. Live concerts. Celebrity guest DJs.
This is Rob Lowe. Hey, baby, it's Little Steven here.
And more exclusives when listening to Bruce Springsteen's channel.
Welcome, Bruce Springsteen, to E3 Radio, your home away from home. Great to meet you.
E3 Radio, SiriusXM Channel 20.
Explore the musical world of an American rock and roll troubadour on his very own channel.
Tom Petty Radio.
All of Tom's music, influences, collaborations.
This is Tom Petty here on the Buried Treasure Show.
Heartbreakers hosted shows.
Check out my show, The Breakdown with Mike Campbell.
And more.
It's Tom Petty Radio.
Channel 31. And on the SXM app, included with all trials and popular plans.
Did you know you can get home and away feeds for every NFL, NBA, and NHL game on your phone? I can't believe it! Every game, all season. It's all on the SXM app. Sports the way they're meant to be heard, with your hometown announcers just a tap away. Search for your team, then tap the star on the corner of the screen and save it as your favorite. An incredible finish! And if you love college sports, when the game is on, just search for your school. It's always a home game when you listen to sports on the SXM app. Free for most subscribers.
We're just getting started.
That's right. Joe hasn't stuck his foot in his mouth yet. But hang tight, it's coming.
Now, back to more Race Time Radio with Joe Chisholm.
That's my buddy Andy. Yeah, I haven't stuck my foot in my mouth yet, but it's coming. You can guarantee it. Welcome back, everybody, to Race Time Radio. So glad you could tune in tonight. Just got a text from one of our broadcasters. We got Jerry Paxton tuned in Tasmania, Australia. Hey, Jerry, how you doing, buddy? Look. I got you right here, bud. You're right with me. And sort of segue into what I was talking about in the break, that I've got an announcement to make. Yeah, we have the Western Rattler 300 that we're going to do all live on Race Time Radio once again, the second annual. And, man, what a race last year. Jerry couldn't make it last year. He was off to Florida, I believe, and he already had prior plans. But I'm hoping he's going to be back from Australia in time for the Western Rattler 300. It's going to be super. What a race last year. It was Riley Siebert in the 09 car that went to victory lane, that kicked off his season. Huge win for Riley Siebert in that 09. Right on his back bumper, dear old dad in the 69 car. And in third spot was the 42 of Kyle Reed, all the way from Alberta. Well, they sort of live in Nova Scotia, but he works in Alberta, but yet he was in D.C. for the Western Rattler 300. I sent him a little text, and I said, hey, Kyle, unfinished business. Are you going to come back and run the Western Rattler this year in 2023? And it immediately came back. Absolutely. I'm coming back to win that baby. And I know we're going to get Kyle on the program one of these nights real soon. He loves running. Last year he ran the Easter Bunny and then made tracks. I don't know how they did that, but they made tracks and had the 42 car shipped from there all the way out to BC to Penticton Speedway and was ready to go for the Western Rattler 300. And, man, what a race last year. I believe it was 2 hours, 59 minutes. That included, I'm talking flag to flag here, that included the halfway break where drivers went in and had a chance to change sneakers, make any kind of updates that they wanted to make, final changes, if you will, and then they made their way back out onto the racetrack. I got to tell you, the 09 car and the 69 car, the two of them were like, I want to say first and second, maybe first and third, with the 42 car wedged in between at the halfway break. And there's a rule, and you're not allowed to work on the car until everybody is parked and the horn sounds. So nobody can touch the car. And I guess when the guys pulled in, the crew came out and took a look at the 09 car, the 69 car, and I believe they physically touched the car. I don't know if they made any adjustments. I don't know any of the particulars, but they did touch the car against the rules. And the 69 car of Trevor Siebert was sitting there and seeing the crew ahead of him touch the 09 car before the sound of the horn. He came on his radio, I guess, in amongst the team and said, "Hey, tell Riley, smooth move. He's got to go to the rear." And lo and behold, Trevor felt something move in his car, and his crew was starting to work on his. And he had to go to the rear. So you want to talk about an exciting second half with those two guys going to the rear. After working their way to the front, I thought, man, lights out, they're done. There's no way they're going to be able to come back. I want to say there was only two cars out of the race at that particular point in time. Out of a full field to start the Western Rattler 300, and they did. They managed to work their way back up. The 42 car of Kyle Reed was incredibly strong. Running the race, he led a bunch of laps. The 12 car of Matt Shirley, all the way from Saskatoon, another real fast race car. I want to say that Brandon Carlson was another quick car in the 14. There was a number of them that were really quick that had just little gremlins and situations that were causing them to give up that lead as the 09 car and the 69 car were on rails. Man, those guys kept coming the full race. With the 42 car, I believe Brad Mann checked in with the crew chief and said the 42 car looks incredibly strong, but it looks like he's starting to fade a little bit. What's going on with the car? Is the driver saying anything? And lo and behold, his panhard bar, the bolt either came out of it or loosened off or something. He was dragging it on the racetrack, and it eventually cost him position number 1 and position number 2. Kyle Reed hung on to that 42 car and come home with a podium finish in what was a dynamite fast race. So you don't want to miss it. You want to be on Penticton May 5th, 6th weekend. It's going to be off the hook. Street stocks are going to run just like they did last year. And, of course, the late models are going to run the Western Rattler 300. And we're going to have live coverage for you on Racetime Radio. Not sure about SiriusXM just yet. I put it to the powers to be. And if there's a way, you can bet the SiriusXM will have live coverage as well. But at this particular point, you can count on Racetime Radio. We are going to be there. We'll have our stream going. We'll have all of it happening. And hopefully we can add in SiriusXM satellite radio and bring everybody across Canada, across North America, the Western Rattler 300 in May. It's going to be awesome. And I know Brad out on Canada's East Coast got a new job out there. I don't know whether Brad can make it, but we're going to check in with Brad. And I know Jerry Paxton, this bobblehead right here, he's going to be excited. I can guarantee you. He did come out. We did one of the RS1 Cup races from Penticton. Jerry was off the hook. And how could you not be, right? A beautiful scenic racetrack. It's set right just about the top of a mountain. And then you look out, and the scenery is just mind-blowing. Not to mention the racetrack is one of the raciest short tracks I've seen here in Canada. Side-by-side, absolutely not a problem. They had a little issue down in turn number 1 and 2 where there was a bump. So the driver either had to go high to miss that bump, and it would really mess with the corner, or they had to stay down real low. And not always do you get your preferential lane that you want to run. Sometimes you got to run the outside, and I'll tell you what, when you hit that bump, it really messed the car up. So Trevor and the staff at Penticton Speedway, Lee, all those guys, went to work in the fall, and they took that bump out of the Speedway and fixed it all up. We are going to be in for a dynamite Western Rattler 300, and I sure hope you can join us at the Speedway, but if you can't, you can tune in live on Racetime Radio. Really, really looking forward to it. Now, the NASCAR Pinty Series has got their schedule out, and it's a great-looking schedule. Our next guest is going to be up here in a few minutes. Doug Gonder. He is the assistant director for the NASCAR Pinty Series. And Doug's been around this sport a long, long time. He's going to join us. Can't wait to get caught up with Doug. And then in hour number 2 as well, we're going to catch up with Jason White. Yeah, we're used to hearing Jason in the RS1 Cup Series. We've also got used to seeing Jason at Daytona. He come away with top 10 finish in the ARCA car. And I want to say that he had, I believe it was top 10 finish in the truck as well. He does a great job behind the wheel, getting real good at the draft and getting real good at those long speedways. He has raced Daytona quite a few times now. He's tried his hand at Talladega, and I want to say Jason raced at Phoenix. So he's got a good mix of racetracks. He's familiar with the car that he's going to get in. I believe it's with Andy Hillenberg. And then the truck is Rayum Brothers in the 33. So Jason's familiar with those machines. And look, I can well imagine he's coming off the chip to get there and to get to Daytona and get his opportunity again. You never know what can happen at that big, beautiful speedway. And Jason White from Sun Peaks, BC, is going to do a great job. And hopefully, as the snow melts up here, we get a chance to see Jason back in a Pro Late model for the Western Rattler 300. He was in it last year with the 33 car. And hopefully we get to see him again in the RS1 Cup Series out there on Canada's West Coast. You want to talk about a series, you got to watch Rev TV Canada. If you haven't got it yet, get Rev TV Canada. Always an RS1 Cup race, at least once a week, is popping up, that you'll get an opportunity to go back and watch Rev TV and see that RS1 Cup Series. Simply amazing to watch. It's really coming together. Al Liebert is doing a great job. Talked to him this week. Cars are all coming together. I imagine we're going to have one of those drivers on here next week that is to make an announcement. Can't tell you who it is, but drives the 16 car. At least he did a couple of times last year. And I will keep you up to date and hopefully have that driver on next week with a big announcement for the RS1 Cup Series. But we are getting close to the top of the hour. I'm going to throw it back to SiriusXM for 90 seconds. Get you up to date on any of the news or highlights that you may have missed over hour number 1 here on SiriusXM. And then we will rejoin you for another hour here, as we always do on Race Time Radio. 2 hours tonight, and we will be 2 hours again each and every Sunday night right here on SiriusXM when we don't get preempted for a Raptor game or there's major sports that happens on our channel, and occasionally we get preempted. When we do, you've always got RaceTimeRadio.com that you can check out, or you can always follow along on our YouTube channel. And please, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button when you're over on YouTube. We really appreciate it, and you'll never miss Race Time Radio again. We always talk about Canadians and talk to Canadians and our U.S. friends that are newsmakers. We get them on the show, and we do that over the course of 2 hours each and every week. But we're going to throw it back to Toronto, get you up to date, 90 seconds, and then we'll come back. I know Doug Gonder will be with us, and we'll talk NASCAR Pinties with Doug. Yeah, he's a wealth of knowledge, and if you've never met Doug Gonder, get ready. Tonight you will. And he's going to do that in just mere moments. So throw it back to Toronto, and we'll get you back in just 90 seconds. So stay with us all live tonight on SiriusXM, Channel 167.
You're listening to Canada Talks on SiriusXM, Channel 167.
Time Radio is brought to you by the Quality Inn, Halifax Airport, the official stay of the Racetime Radio broadcast crew. Also by APX Racewear, the motorsports leader in custom crew apparel and fire suits. Also by the Wooden Door Bistro.
When you think NASCAR, think SiriusXM NASCAR Radio. This may be the most important thing that's ever happened. You're damn right, baby. The races.
The Daytona 500 win.
I love that we have playoff racing now.
The talk shows.
We'd love for you guys to participate as well.
Unprecedented access.
Well, I'm here at the red carpet with the fans.
SiriusXM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90.
Top fans get a video game move.
Also streaming on the SXM app.
I think they're happy down here.
We're back. Hour number 2 of RaceTime Radio.
With the two Joes.
RaceTime Radio.
On SiriusXM 167.
And welcome back, everybody, to RaceTime Radio. You just get one Joe tonight. The other Joe still wounded. His foot still hasn't healed up, and I know Joe Jr.'s tuned in. Hey, kiddo, heal up quick, will ya? But we continue with hour number 2 now, and we welcome in a good friend of RaceTime Radio and a good friend of mine for a lot of years. His name, Doug Gonder, and he is the assistant race director for the NASCAR Pinty Series. What's going on tonight, Doug? How you doing?
Very well, sir. How are you?
Doing fantastic. Doug, you and I go a long, long way back, man. Back to the ARCA days at Daytona. Man, you know what, Speed Weeks, it just keeps on clicking along each and every year. And whenever I think Daytona, I think of you, my friend.
Well, we'll be heading there in a few weeks, so looking forward to get back. It's been a long 2018 was the last time I was down there working, so looking forward to getting back and seeing everybody and getting back in the groove.
Well, I bet you a lot's changed too, right, Doug, with ARCA, NASCAR, of course, absorbing ARCA quite a few years ago. All the fruits of those labors are all coming to the surface now. Looks like we're set up for a pretty good run at Daytona this year.
I believe so. Bobby Thompson, Grayling Call, they do a great job down there. Ron Dreger always leads the pack, and I have to give a lot of credit to Ron and what he taught me over the years I spent with him. It was phenomenal, and the opportunity he gave me was great.
Well, and then you jumped in with the NASCAR Pinty Series. Back then it was the NASCAR Canadian Tire Series. How long have you actually been with the series?
I believe 2010. I came up and joined both, and that was, I had to work in the sport on both sides of the border to keep my visa alive. That was the big thing, so.
Yeah, going back and forth, and you do a great job at that.
Well, it's I'm fortunate with my real job at Bell that I have the flexibility. I've got a great family that supports me here, and they let me go play. So, the people that are there, you got to love them, right?
Oh, absolutely. And you've worked your way up through in the NASCAR ranks with the NASCAR Pinty Series. You started out as just just an official that was in the tech end of things, was it?
Correctly, yes. Yeah, and it was last year I applied for the technical director's position. Out of that, when I was being interviewed by Brandon Nagalski, morphed the idea of the assistant director's role, and he said, would you consider it? And I said, well, I'm never going to say no, and, make me an offer, show me the paper, and that's, it's history from there. I got an email from HR, and there was the offer, and so here we are.
So much has changed with the NASCAR Pinty Series, it started to rise, and then it sort of leveled out, and I'm going by my opinion here. Started to rise, and then it sort of leveled out, and then, and made a couple of gains, and then maybe slid back a little bit. Well, after the pandemic, man, things have gone straight up, and they continue to go up for the NASCAR Pinty Series. It's exciting.
That's right. I mean, you have to, if you take a look at the pandemic, you look at what NASCAR put into it to have those few races, renting tracks, getting the cars out. I mean, the owners got behind it. NASCAR was behind it to keep the series alive. And then when they came out in 2022, the economy was such that everything was a go. There was a lot of hype. There was a lot of interest. I mean, we had, on average, over 23 cars at every event last year. 13 full-time teams, 3 full-time winners for the first time this year. And, even the logistics to get to Newfoundland. I mean, that was huge. First time ever having a dirt race at Ashwegan. That was a fantastic event, and it just goes on and on.
Yeah, new
you have
ground
the support
cut.
of the ownership group. You've got the support of the owners, the drivers. Everybody's in a good place right now.
And let's face it, if you don't change, nothing will ever change. If you do the same thing, you'll get the same result each and every time. And what I've loved about the NASCAR Pinty Series is seeing the growth spurt that everybody's been on. Not to mention the tour itself, but the race teams have all started it too. We've got something now that is a true national coast-to-coast sort of situation happening, and it's exciting for the fans.
We do. I mean, you take a look at the races we have. We've kind of adopted a new policy, not a policy, but a saying that we don't want to add races. We want to add events and make the events better. And that's a win-win for everybody. It's a win for NASCAR. It's a win for the teams. It's a win for the crews. It's a win for the sponsors. You get more exposure. And that's, at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. You put on a great show for the fans, and you attract more fans to come to the racetrack.
Pretty cool this past weekend. I watched it on Rev TV Canada, and up pops a race from Three Rivers, Trois Rivières. And Dominic doing it, keeping the race fans engaged. Had a nice race down there. Did you happen to catch it on Rev TV? It was a real eye-opener for me.
I've got to be honest, Joe, until about 5 minutes ago, I was at my computer putting together schedules for 2023. So
I can well imagine. It would be this industry, doesn't matter what, part of this industry that we all play a role in, if you give it 24 hours, it'll take 25.
Exactly. And there's a lot of I's to dot and T's to cross, and there's a lot of communication going back and forth with the various tracks, the promoters, the teams, the crew chiefs. I mean, I'm kind of doing two jobs right now. We're still in limbo without a technical director, but we're getting along, and we're getting through the rulebook process and moving forward and answering a lot of phone calls.
Well, and Doug, that wouldn't, like the cool part about having you involved in this series is there's so many aspects that, you can take this hat off and put that one on and train a guy, or if need be, pitch in here, pitch in there. You're not a utility guy that is hired to do one thing and one thing only. You are a utility guy that's been there, done that, and you don't mind building a team.
Well, that's the beauty of the series and the beauty of the people we have. Everybody works as a team. I mean, Sherry Putnam, who's retiring this year, or retiring this month actually, she did an amazing job of getting us through the pandemic and putting together a core team that really worked well together, gelled together very well, and could complement each other very well. And that's, in itself, that's huge. Just like a race team, if you get a team that gels, they're going to be very successful.
Yeah, and you guys have got the right combination right now. Schedule was announced like a week ago. I know in talking to you, Doug, you guys wanted to get the schedule out before the last season even ended. But the harsh reality is when you're trying to gel things and make things better, sometimes it takes some time to do it. Anyway, we got a schedule out that is pretty exciting for the race fans this year.
It's a good schedule. It's pretty consistent with what it was last year. We've added that dirt race to Ashwaubenon, so it's going to be a Monday night and a Tuesday night, 2 full shows. That will be exciting. It's going to be a bit of a challenge for the teams to keep their stuff together on the Monday night, or it's going to be a long night Monday night for them, Tuesday morning. And, we'll go from there. We are looking at, we've looked at a lot of tracks across the country. There's a lot of interest across the country. We keep in contact and communication with other tracks and the promoters. And as I say, we want to build events.
Yeah, build events from the ground up. And anybody that has been to Three Rivers and seen GP3R that has actually gone there where NASCAR is the headline for the weekend, I'll tell you what, there's 80,000 people there, and it is off the hook. It's nuts.
It is. I mean, what Dominic does there and what the town does there, I mean, the whole town's involved. I mean, the downtown is basically closed for vehicle traffic, and it's a parade. It's restaurants, there's bars, there's fireworks. I mean, everybody gets involved, and that's the type of event we want to build to moving in the future.
And same thing could be said about Newfoundland. I know last year was the first year that Eastbound International Speedway had their event. Knowing the guys out there, working with the guys out there, I can tell you this has been on their mind literally for years. And to see them finally be able to secure a NASCAR Pinty's race, a national tour, is not only a dream come true, but it's been a work of labor for those guys to make it come true. Going to be kind of cool. A second trip out there to the Rock this year, that event is going to explode as well.
I do agree, and there's a lot of talk about bigger and better parties. And it's like you say, I mean, Mike James and the guys, Patty that owns the track, they're all fantastic to deal with. I was out there in the fall dealing with them on some track issues and looking stuff over, and it's anything you want, they've got it. They're great to work with. They have good ideas, and the people of the island are fantastic. No matter if you go to a restaurant or downtown, just walking around, it's all good. The teams enjoyed it. I mean, there was a little bit of a worry when all the haulers went on one ferry, and what if this ferry goes down?
Yeah.
It all worked out, and we're looking at building it bigger and better this year.
Yeah, it's going to be incredible. Love the series. It kicks off at kicks off at Sunset Speedway, and then you'll make your way back to CTMP. The speeds that are hit at CTMP, they're crazy. When the guys are going down that long chute coming back, you want to talk, it's as fast as the guys are going at Michigan.
Exactly. The cars are fast. The track's fast. The quality of cars that we've had in 2022 were second to none. The racing was closer, and that's judged by looking at the stats for the year. Everything is positive. The guys are building the cars better. We've got more cars finishing, and there's a lot of interest in this series. I mean, you take a look at the old guys that are there. I'm talking old guys, DJ Kennington and his crew, Alex Tagliani, LP Dumoulin, and you've got the young guys that are coming up. Cayden Lapcevich, Steckley, Brandon Watson. I mean, those guys are young and they're wheelmen.
Oh yeah, and they're proving themselves to get on the racetrack. I watched Brandon Watson this year. My jaw hit the table quite a few times. Same thing with Cayden Lapcevich, as mentioned there. And Kyle Steckley, man, that kid's a chip off the old block. Can't wait to see what these guys do. And you see the veterans out there. Mark Dilley, still kicking around. You see guys like DJ Kennington. I can remember, Doug, and you'll remember it well. He went on a tear one year, and he won 7 events in a row, 7 races, and it was just unheard of. But DJ Kennington was that guy. Then he struggled for years to get back to victory lane. That's how fast the tides can turn.
Yeah, and you could even go back to the Cup Series years ago. You could put on your one hand who's going to win the race. It's going to be Pearson, Petty, Yarborough, and everybody else is basically running for 3rd through 30th. And that was, again, even in the Cup Series, they got the cars back together, the cars are closer, and the competition is there.
So you're going to go back down to Daytona for Speed Weeks. I can well imagine. You and I used to all the time head out to New Smyrna Speedway. You'll be a fixture out there at night, I would take it?
I don't have my entire schedule yet right now. I'm with the Mod Series, and then I'm with the ARCA Series. On the dark days, I don't know what my schedule is yet, and then there's talk they'll be with the National Series as well.
So funny, there's people in this industry that when they have, like you say, a dark day, a day off, the only thing they want to do is, I don't know, go golfing or watch TV or something like that. You can tell the true blue race fan and the person that's invested in this sport, you get a day off. That just means that you're going to go to a track that you want to go to instead of one that you got to be at.
Yeah, and I'll definitely have to, now that we've got 2 dirt races, spend some time at the dirt track. That's for sure.
Oh, man, Volusia County, what a speedway. Yeah. Great times out there. Every time we were down there for Speed Week, I would take one night, and I was going to the dirt track just to check it out. Seeing guys like Clint Boyer back in the day, Steve Arpin out there on the racetrack, kind of cool. A lot of guys that you would see at the big track, they're playing on the dirt track, too.
Exactly. I remember Steve Arpin driving that 55 car for Willie Venturini. That was Mike's Hard Lemonade was the sponsor then.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Steve did an amazing job in ARCA. He likes going over bumps now. I don't know what happened to Steve-O. Yeah, pretty amazing. Doug, there's been a lot of change in the sport. Some of it isn't positive, but I think the positive outweighs the negative in most cases. How about your thoughts?
I agree with you 100% on that. We all have ups and downs. No one's perfect. I mean, I made mistakes last year. You reach out to the people and say, look, that one's on me. I made the mistake. I can tell you it's not going to happen again, and we move on. And just the cooperation we have from the ownership group and the crew chiefs, you can talk to them and say, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? And just get their opinions. You don't have to automatically take all their opinions and do something with it, but just put it all in the bucket and see what it all comes out as. Everybody wants to make the series better.
Yeah, and that, you know what, even guys like us still learn something new every day, right? The day you stop learning, I guess it's time to fold the tent up.
That's, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the day you stop learning, the day you become stagnant, and then you're left behind.
That's right. Yeah, and it doesn't take long in this business. Everybody wants to pass you. It doesn't seem to matter what, what your job is in this sport. It's kind of cool. The competitiveness runs all the way through us.
It does. It does. It's highly competitive, and tempers sometimes get the best of people. But at the end of the day, one thing I'm proud of this series is that everybody, from one end of pit road to the other, can talk about it after the fact.
Yeah, they're all pulling on the same rope, and that's kind of cool. I know there's not a lot of registered cars yet. I don't know of a series that has a pile of registered cars at this particular point in time. But what's the future saying to you, Doug, in the conversations that you had? Do you think we're going to see more cars this year than we did last year, or do you think we're going to be about the same?
I think it's, from what I've heard, again, our registration basically went out a week ago when they got the paperwork finally pulled all apart. And we're getting it dribs and drabs back in. We'll have a better idea when we do the updates next week, and then we've got an owners meeting coming up. We'll have an idea then as well.
Too funny. I just had a couple lights fall down in the studio. It literally just fell from the ceiling, but we're still alive. At least these ones didn't go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. You guys fire up at Sunset Speedway, and you carry on and go right across the country. How do fans stay up or maybe get more information if they want it?
The NASCAR the Pinty Series has their own webpage. You can go there. Just NASCAR.com and click on Home Track Series. And yourself has a great wealth of information that's on your webpage and other webpages that are out there.
Well, we try and do our best to get everybody up to date and keep them up to date. And it's been great talking with you tonight, old friend. And I know we all look forward to an exciting 2023 because I know you guys are hard at it and you're going to get her done.
We will, sir. Thank you very much, Joe. I appreciate it. Happy New Year. And one comment when you're talking to Jason, just ask him about his shifter knob at Mosport one year.
Yeah, I'll be sure to do that. I bet he's got a tail. Doug, be safe. Have a great time down at Speed Weeks and learn lots, buddy. We'll see you back up here.
Thank you. Have a great night.
You betcha. That's Doug Gonder. Always great to catch up with Doug. Like I say, had a couple of lights fall down in the studio. We're going to fly the way we are because I think you can still see me. But we are going to hit a break right here on Race Time Radio. Don't you go anywhere. We will be back with you all live tonight on SiriusXM Channel 167 Canada Talks.
Hey, race fans. This is George Wilson, number 77. You're listening to Race Time Radio. Race Time Radio. We'll be back.
You're listening to Canada Talks on SiriusXM Channel 167. Did you know you can get home and away feeds for every NFL, NBA, and NHL game on your phone? I can't believe it! Every game, all season. It's all on the SXM app. Sports the way they're meant to be heard with your hometown announcers just a tap away. Search for your team, then tap the star on the corner of the screen and save it as your favorite. And it's gone! An incredible finish! And if you love college sports, when the game is on, just search for your school. It's always a home game when you listen to sports on the SXM app. Free for most subscribers.
What is SiriusXM NASCAR Radio? Tyler Reddy will go to victory lane at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. You just won at Pinty.
Down here in victory lane, let me ask the fans.
It's all.
Joe, we got a little set his sights on a championship.
Who died, baby? He shot him up the right track.
Back up on the throttle as he heads to victory.
NASCAR.
Oh, he loses it. He crashes.
SiriusXM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90. Also streaming on the SXM app.
Oh, hell yeah.
Even though nationally known name. Nearly all of our stores are built from the ground up by local owners and families. People you might call neighbors will be here, there, and everywhere. Doing what neighbors do to keep their communities moving forward. Stop by a Napa Auto Parts store. You can count on Napa know-how.
Tonight's Racetime Radio is brought to you by Napa Auto Parts Stores, New Glasgow, Ganesh, and Port Hawkesbury, Nova Scotia. You can count on Napa know-how. AP Racefuels, the worldwide leader in race fuel technology.
From the streets of Hoboken to the Vegas Strip, Frank Sinatra's music all in one place.
You make me feel so young.
Perfectly Frank, playing nothing but Sinatra.
I got the world on a string.
Perfectly Frank. Listen anytime and anywhere on the SXM app. Included with all trials and popular plans.
From the high banks of Daytona. Covered it all. That's gonna be the mark. And now, back to the Jones.
Hey, shake it bait, Cal! Woo! Shake it bait!
And here on Racetime Radio.
And welcome back, everybody, to a dimmer Racetime Radio. We had a couple lights. If you've ever seen the photos of the studio, we got all LED lights around the top. I guess something. I don't know how, but the one came off, and it was chain reaction. So, Junior, you are correct. You're lucky you weren't sitting there, because you would have got creamed by one of the lights here in the studio. Would have definitely, would have got your attention, I can tell you that. But welcome back. We've got still one more guest still coming up, and two, actually. We're going to hear from Jason White here shortly. He is heading for Daytona, going to drive in the ARCA Menard Series, and then he'll be jumping in to the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series with the 33 truck. And I know Jason is excited. He was actually here in Ontario this weekend. His son competes in the downhill, and I believe they were at Collingwood, where his son was competing in the downhill skiing stuff. So we'll ask Jason about that. We'll have to ask him about that shifter knob as well. At CTMP, probably came right off in his head, but Jason is one of those guys that you definitely got to keep your eye on. Whether he is down in the U.S., running in ARCA, running in the trucks, or if he's up on this side of the border, of course, longtime competitor in the NASCAR Pinty Series, and has done a great job behind the wheel of the 21 car, normally the 21, sometimes the 28, depending on the year. But we also see Jason White in the races out west. He jumped into the Western Rattler 300 last year. We also seen him a full-time competitor in the RS1 Cup Series in the 33 car. Does a phenomenal job. I can't recall Jason winning just yet, but he has been on the podium a number of times. And I don't doubt we're going to see Jason in victory lane. Man, it may even come at Speed Weeks this year. Going to be kind of cool to check that out. So much stuff happening. I love scrolling through Facebook and seeing, that's where we're picking up on a lot of news because, of course, we follow a ton of teams. And I see Michael Cormier is going to have his team heading down to New Smyrna Speedway. It's always great watching the New Smyrna Speedway website. They've got a link on there that gives you up to date the drivers that are committed or have got their name in the hat, so to speak, and registered for the World Series of Asphalt Stock Car Racing. And the list continues to grow week by week, and you're really going to see some updates over the next couple of weeks. Guys will be making their plans to go down to New Smyrna Speedway and jump in. And I'll tell you what, there's a ton of eyeballs. If you go down and you're racing, it's 9 nights straight. If you've never been to New Smyrna Speedway or been down to the Daytona Beach area for Speed Weeks, and you're a race fan, maybe you're a new race fan and you've never done it, you got to check it out. You have to. You got Daytona International Speedway. No longer do they just run in the daytime. No, they got a lot of races that take place at night. It's all lit up. I was there the year that they added the lighting to Daytona. Man, I'll tell you, I remember it well. The 3-car back then, Dale Earnhardt Sr., was the guy that was under the lights doing test laps, and dialing the lighting in. It was really something to see and a memorable time to be at Daytona. But for those short track fans that maybe just got involved in the sport this year, let me give you just a little snapshot of what it's like to go down for Speed Weeks. It all starts February, I want to say the 10th this year, 9 nights straight at New Smyrna Speedway. It's called the World Series of Asphalt Stock Car Racing, and it's well over 50, 60 years old now. And you want to see the stars of tomorrow today? That's where you're going to catch them. At New Smyrna, which is about, I'm going to say, 25 miles away from Daytona International Speedway. And, of course, you've got all the activity that takes place at Daytona. You've got the Cup Series, of course. They're going to be running to not only make it into the Daytona 500 with their qualifying, you got the duels, you've got the shootout, you've got everything that takes place at Daytona. Then you got New Smyrna Speedway running the World Series. I want to say there's 10 different divisions that are going to be taking place at New Smyrna this year. And then about 25 miles the opposite direction, you'll be able to go to Volusia County Speedway, and you'll be able to see the world's best on dirt. And they compete night after night with championships and points and all kinds of stuff. So if you're a short track fan, you're a race fan, you want to make it to Speed Weeks for all the action down there. It's kind of cool. But our next guest is up on video. We got Jason White with us, and he is getting ready to go for Speed Weeks. He's going to be doing it in an ARCA car. He's going to be doing it in a Camping World truck. And let's welcome him in. What's going on tonight there, Jay? How you doing?
Good, Joe. How are you doing, man?
Fantastic. How did the weekend go? How did your son make out? Did he win?
Had about a mid-pack run, but we're out here in your neck of the woods at Horseshoe Mountain Resort, and he's on the Canada Cup Freestyle Tour, so we're pretty proud of him for sure. And he's only 14 years old, competing against a lot of kids that are older than him, actually adults that are older than him. So we're pretty proud of him, that's for sure.
Oh, man, so cool, Jay. And coming off the mountains, your son definitely is a chip off the old block, loves the speed, only on skis.
Yeah. I never did what he does. I'm kind of glad I don't know his craft because I never did the aerial stuff, but I did the speed on skis, and I can help him with the preparation and stuff. But I'm just glad to be there and help him out and support him. And they're pretty awesome. These little freestyle kids, they jump 40 feet in the air and they fly 150 feet. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, talk about your heart in your mouth. Seeing your kid flying down there, you want to see him do good. You want to see him go far, go fast. But man, you want to see him land and come back, right?
Yeah, that's for sure.
Incredible. Jay, you are becoming one of those guys that absolutely every Canadian's got to be watching when we talk Speed Weeks and Daytona. You've been down there a few years now, and you've got some results in both the ARCA presented by Menard Series as well as the 33 truck. You got to be excited about Speed Weeks, bud.
Yeah, I'm really excited to get back behind the wheel down there for sure. A lot of good things happening with Rayum Brothers Racing. This is my 5th season with them, and Josh Rayum is just he's very determined, and he's been doing all the right things. He's been growing the team. It's not a fast process, as you know. It's something that you build on year after year, and he's pretty proud. He's got good pit equipment now. He's got good pit boxes. He's got his own team now to go over the wall. He doesn't have to hire out subcontractors anymore. So we're getting better and better all the time, and as you know, it was bittersweet in Talladega. We didn't qualify for the race, but we took that truck back to the shop and they just devoured that thing, and we got some pretty experienced people working on that truck, and we're really confident. We found a few things. We found the gear ratios were off at Talladega, so coming into that in lap of qualifying, you need to be up to speed, and we weren't getting up to speed fast enough. So we found that. We found a few things with, aerodynamics wise. So we're ready, and I'm more ready than I've ever been. I'm confident, and I seem to have a bit of a knack for these super speedways. So hopefully I can be patient. And last year we're at the white flag. We were in the lead pack racing for the win, and obviously we got taken out there. A little bit of aero got caught in the middle going through the tri-oval at Daytona, and but being in that lead pack, fighting for the win at the white flag is where we need to be, and we need to put ourselves back in that position, and hopefully we can all be patient and be there at the end.
Well said. And I know, Jay, from watching you participate in those races at Daytona, whether it be in the car or the truck, you have got the patience. You have got that ability where you can hold back and big picture it, and that's the cool part. You're number one. Everybody went, Jason White? No, I'm not helping him. And you could see them scatter. They wouldn't help you at all. But not so when you're number two, you're number three. Things start to gel, and all of a sudden, I don't mind going with that guy. That guy, he's good. I'll leave him on the last turn of the last lap, but let's work together to get up there.
Yeah, the biggest thing at a super speedway is if you don't have a yellow stripe on your bumper, they will look at going with you. They'll look. I'm not saying they're going to go. I've been hung out to dry by the Kyle Busch Motorsports guys. I was at Talladega 2 years ago. There was 4 of them, and I got in line, and all of a sudden they scattered, and they left me behind, and then they all locked back together again, and they took off. But the yellow stripe is really what they're looking for. But in reality, at Daytona and in super speedways, your spotter is really driving the vehicle. And I have a great spotter in Randy Bradshaw. He's probably one of the oldest school spotters out there. But I always tell Randy when we lock and load, and I say, Randy, you're driving this thing. I'm just holding the steering wheel. And it really makes it that he keeps me as calm as possible. There's lots of times when I want to go up and when the truck or the ARCA car will go and I want to go. It's like it's a horse wanting to gallop, and he's like, no, not yet. So it's really important to have that up on the spotter stand, and having a crew chief to be there to calm you down as well. That's really important because there's times in the race where you're way faster than most of the cars or trucks in front of you. So it's so hard to be patient, but you got to rely on your team to keep you back and hold the reins.
You're holding back here, spotter says, no, Jay, not yet, stay back, you're holding back, and all of a sudden, you see the smoke, you hit the binders, you go around it, and you see a gripping wad, and you think, wow, am I ever glad I wasn't part of that?
Yeah, for sure. It's a lot of fun, though, man. I tell you, I've done a lot of racing in my life, and, I always say I'm not the best race car driver, but I'm probably one of the better racers. I understand how the sport works. I understand how the business works. And I get that, it's all the big picture. And this big picture has been in planning since I was 15 years old. And I'm now going to Daytona these last couple times with the intent to win. I don't want to wait around the back and see what we get. I want to get up there and push forward. And you know what? It's that old analogy. If you're either going to take the checker flag or bring me the steering wheel, and that's what I told Josh yesterday. I'll bring you the steering wheel, but if we're not in the lead, but that's finally my focus is to that. It's not just let's see where we can be. It's let's go out and do our best and see if we can win this thing and just get up and have some fun in the victory circle. That's what we're looking for.
Hey, and you can get it done. I think back to the years John King won at Daytona. Johnny was no favorite. Johnny was one of those guys that was just, he was out there. But yet at the end of the race, who was standing in victory lane? He's got that forever, and it's possible. I think back to when I was down there, Racetime Radio had just started up. Mario Goslin went out and qualified. I think he qualified like 28th in the ARCA race. He had nothing on his car. It was the number 12 car. He had nothing on it. I'm sitting on pit road, and his brother walked by, which is his crew chief. And I said, hey, you guys got nothing on the car. He's Canadian. I'm Canadian. I'd like to get a sticker on his car. Is that possible? He said, come with me, youngster. Come on. So we went back to the hauler, put a logo on his car, and lo and behold, in that Lucas Oil 200, I watched Mario Goslin go from near the back all the way to the front, and he led a pile of laps until the big one happened. And it was Bobby Gerhard that touched him, and he wrecked. But I'll tell you what, we almost won that ARCA 200, that number 12 car. Mario Goslin almost did it. And dreams can come true at that racetrack, and some nightmares can get spun. You've been on both ends of it.
I certainly have. 2019, we a couple of top tens in both races, and then we haven't made the race before, and last year was the biggest heartbreak of all. Not making the race is one thing, but getting to the white flag and you're in 7th place and you're in the hunt, that is a really big heartbreak. So, you're right. We've been there for both the ups and the downs, and we've seen them both, and we're like I said, we got a lot of things coming our way. Josh Rayum just signed with Ford Performance, so we're going to be in a Ford in the truck, and I'm really looking forward to that. They've really come on board with Josh, and they see what Josh is doing, so we're really excited about that. And then the ARCA side on Saturday afternoon, early Saturday afternoon, we'll be back with Andy Hillenberg and Fast Track Racing, and just always a solid car. Looks like I'm going to be in a Toyota, so I was hoping Amber, I sent Amber a message, and I sent Cayden a message there. Hey, you guys, if I'm at a Toyota, pick me, draft with me, and I'll hopefully hook up with those Venturini cars and go to the front. That's kind of what I'm hoping. But both races I'm really excited about for sure.
We're with Jason White tonight. Sun Peaks, BC is where he calls home, but he's going to be a resident of Daytona International Speedway come Speed Weeks. He's going to be in the ARCA series, also going to be in the truck. Jason, you're in the 33 truck. How about the car? What number is Andy's car?
I believe I'll be in the 12 again, which is a good number. That's what we had our top finish in, so I think I'll be in the 12. Possibly the 11. They don't decide that stuff etched in stone until about a week before. I got my choice of cars in that stable. Basically, I'll be getting the faster car in the stable. So hopefully we'll be in that fast Toyota. They got a really fast Toyota. They also have a fast Ford there, so we'll see. Maybe we'll get in that Ford as well. I've been in it before. I was in it when it was brand new, and it needed some work, but apparently the last year they've done some work to it, and it's pretty fast as well. They had some good results with it, so we'll just see what we get, and whatever it is, I'll lock and load and let Randy guide me to the front there, and hopefully we get a good qualifying effort. That's the biggest thing in ARCA with the way they qualify with the 5 cars at a time and the group pack qualifying. If you get in a good group like I did in 2019, I got in there with some Venturini cars, and you all, Michael waited in turn 2 for all of us, literally up high, and we all went, and we were the top 5 in qualifying. So if you can get in a pack and get in the top 10 there and stay up there, that's the biggest thing in that race. So that's what we'll be looking to do for strategy-wise for that one, and whatever car we get in, we'll just do our best in it for sure.
Now, I can guarantee it. And Canadian race fans, you do a great job with your social media. You do a lot of videos, walking through the garage and keeping everybody up to date. It's cool because I love watching it to stay up on you. Give us a hit on where fans can tune in, because you're going to do it right across Canada. You're getting to be known now as the guy we can all count on to be down there and have a horse in the race.
Well, I sure hope so, and I really appreciate the support from you, Joe, and all the Canadian race fans. It's pretty awesome to go down there and represent the Canadian flag, and as you know, there's always a Canadian flag on our race vehicles. It's always something we represent, so you can definitely follow along at Racing Jason White and at Rayum Brothers Racing, both on Instagram and Twitter platforms, and Racing Jason White on the Facebook, and we'll definitely be whether we're doing good or doing bad, I always like to make sure everybody knows it's not always glorious, as you know. So we have a lot of downs in racing, and you got to keep the fans up to date, whether it's ups or downs. So we'll hopefully be going down there and having a lot of ups, and coming home with our head held high, and looking forward to getting into some other racing in the summer. Not quite sure what that is yet, but maybe some Pinty's races, and was down at Larry Jackson's shop the other day, so Larry and I got talking.
So, you got the itch, do you? You got the itch again.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, amazing, Jay. It's going to be exciting, and I know you don't sugarcoat nothing. You're telling the fans the way it is. You're genuinely excited when positive stuff happens, and if the negative stuff comes around. you tend to lay it all out. Jay, tell me what it's like. I asked Peter Gibbons this years ago when Peter was running the NTN Bearings car in the ARCA series, and I'm talking like a long time ago. I said to Peter at the Cascar banquet back then, had him sit across from me, I said, Pete, what's it like to run Daytona in a 2.5-mile racetrack? And I was sitting there, Sue and I, and little Joe was just a little wee runt then, and we're sitting in the grandstand. I want to say it was practice for the ARCA series, and Pete come off turn 4 and was heading for the tri-oval and popped a tire, and man, it sounded like a gunshot going off. He hit the wall and skidded all the way down into turn number 1. And I remembered it, and I said, Pete, what was that like? And he said, Joe, it's just like you got no brakes. Everything just happens faster, and it's like you have no brakes for quite a while before it slows down. Jay, you've been involved in good runs and fast runs. You've also been in your share of getting tied up in the big one. What's it feel like inside that vehicle?
It almost like it slows down when that happens in front of you, especially, like you said, coming off the corner 4 or 2 or whatever. It almost like it slows down. But when I've been in a wreck, and then you come into the pits on the yellow, and they fix the vehicle or the truck or whatever it is, the ARCA car, and then you get out and you get ready to go green, and they're like, okay, go. And you're like, is everything all right? And they're like, oh, yeah, it should be fine. Okay, so you get up real close to that wall for the first lap or 2 and make sure that right front's not going to blow, because it gets pretty intimidating once you come back and you got some damage to your vehicle. But you gotta put her to the floor, and you got to just take what you can get. It is what it is, and we're not in this for a haircut now. So you gotta put up or shut up, and just and do what the crew chief tells you at that point. And it's kind of a hard, you feel like you're helpless at that point, when things like that happen. But it's like I said, it's almost like it slows down. Everything slows down, and then the impacts are, you have so much adrenaline in you that you don't really feel the impact until the next morning. You can feel the the bruising, but the adrenaline takes over for so long, and it's so powerful that you don't feel much about it, other than that you're out of the race, which hurts more than anything I've ever felt. Is like I said last year at the White Flag, I've never felt any pain like that physically. It hurts. It hurts that you're that close, and it hurts that you could be there and finally get that big finish, and not just waiting around for that big finish. You're racing for that big finish, and we're always looking for that. So it's very humbling, let's put it that way.
Well, you got to have those pages in your book, right? If you're going to be successful in this game, you got to experience the highs and lows. And Jay, you've done both the highs and lows. Not this year at Daytona, though. When do you head out of Sun Peaks, BC, and head for Daytona to get things set and ready to go for ARCA and truck?
I'm actually going down a little bit early to Charlotte. I'm going to go to both shops. I really want to get in that truck and get comfortable. It's one thing I've never really, I go down a day before maybe, but I'm going down a few days before to spend some time in the shop and make sure that if we need to put some shims in the seat to make me more comfortable and make it so your legs don't fall asleep and things like that, I really want to get comfortable in that truck. So I'm going to go down a good 8 days before and go to Charlotte for 3 days in the shop, and then head down and hopefully watch my Niners in the Super Bowl on the Sunday. We're just got to get by the Cowboys here. It's been a struggle tonight, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I'll be down there a good week before and spending some time at the shop.
That's good. And you know what? The crews will be happy to see you too. The more time you guys can bond and spend together, probably the better the success is going to be. The trust goes up, and away we go. And that's going to be kind of cool. Doug Gonder had him on from NASCAR Pinty. He said, you got to ask Jason White about a shifter knob at CTMP. What's all that about? What happened there?
Yeah, when it comes off the handle, it's not a good thing. Yeah, and it starts rattling around in the car. Yeah, no, that wasn't very fun underneath the throttle pedal and the brake pedal and stuff. Yeah, when you're going real fast at Mosport, it's not fun when the shifter knob comes off. That's for sure. It's funny that Doug remembered that.
Oh yeah, he did. I can guarantee it, Jay. You can guarantee that this country is going to be pulling for you every which way possible. It's going to be exciting to see you on the racetrack again. We wish you nothing but the best. Go out there, do what you always do, Jay, and that is give it your 110%. I know the results are coming. You had the bad luck. Now it's time for the good luck, my friend, and you're going to be there to get it.
You bet, man. Thank you very much. And like I said, thanks to everybody who follows and has been part of this this dream to get to, you know, these sorts of races. And now all of a sudden we hopefully got a real good piece to get out there, and we got opportunities. So that's all you can ever ask for in racing is opportunities. And I appreciate everybody that's helped get me there.
Jason White, watch for him. It could be the number 12 in ARCA Menards. Might be the 11. We'll have to wait and find out, but definitely the 33 truck. And hopefully we see him in the 33 out in RS1 Cup Series. Got to get Daytona out of the way, and then we're going to lean on him for what's happening in the summer. But, Jay, we'll be back in touch. You have a good one. Hopefully we get you on between the ARCA race and the truck race or something. Definitely after to recap your time at Daytona. I know we're going to have fun.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate it, Joe. You guys have a good night.
You betcha. That is Jason White. Watch for Jason White. He's going to do really good this year. Going to be exciting. I can guarantee you. We're going to hit our final break here on Race Time Radio. And when we come back, we ain't got much time left. I'm going to check in with Junior, and we'll find out the progress on what's happening over at his joint next here on Race Time. Stay with us.
Brought to you by the Quality Inn, Halifax Airport, the official stay of the Racetime Radio broadcast crew, also by the Wooden Door Bistro.
Even though Napa is a nationally known name, nearly all of our stores are built from the ground up by local owners and families. People you might call neighbors will be here, there, and everywhere. Doing what neighbors do to keep their communities moving forward. Stop by a Napa Auto Parts store. You can count on Napa know-how.
Actor, comedian, producer, musician, and Oscar nominee Dan Aykroyd has done it all. Aykroyd was an original cast member of SNL starting in 1975, and his legendary characters include one half of Two Wild and Crazy Guys, and of course, Elwood Blues. From Ghostbusters to Coneheads to Driving Miss Daisy to Crystal Head Vodka, he is one of Canada's most accomplished citizens. Dan Aykroyd, 2005 inductee on Canada's Walk of Fame.
Iconic games. 43 points for Stephen Curry. The Golden State Warriors have recaptured home court. One of the best players in the league requesting a trade.
The Suns and the Heat are among the two teams Durant has on his wish list.
And saying goodbye to one of the greatest players that ever lived.
The passing of NBA legend Bill Russell today at the age of 88.
If you missed our top 10 NBA stories of 2022 with Frank Isola and Mitch Lawrence, hear it anytime with the SXM app. Just search NBA Radio.
Alexa, play NASCAR radio on SiriusXM.
SiriusXM NASCAR radio from SiriusXM.
Get access to NASCAR's biggest name.
R2XJ.
Kyle Busch.
Hear live coverage of every single race.
Side by side for the win.
It's unfiltered 24/7 NASCAR.
Welcome to Victory Lane.
We got breaking news. Let's go to the hotline.
This is SiriusXM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90. Listen on the app or at home on devices equipped with Amazon Alexa. Learn more at SiriusXM.com/NASCAR.
Tonight's Racetime Radio is brought to you by Napa Auto Parts Stores, Port Hawkesbury, New Glasgow, and Antigonish, Nova Scotia.
Driver, start your engine.
Welcome back to the track. Live on Racetime Radio, SiriusXM 167.
And welcome back, everybody, right here all live tonight on SiriusXM Channel 167 Canada Talks. And oh, by the way, on our YouTube channel, Racetime Radio TV. Welcome to all of you. Or maybe you're tuned in throughout the course of the week over on the PerformanceMotorsportNetwork.com. Got to thank Steele and all those guys there for airing Racetime Radio numerous times throughout the course of the week. We genuinely appreciate it. To all of our U.S. listeners down that way. Thanks so much, and welcome to Racetime Radio. What a busy week it's been. We've been doing lots here in the Racetime Radio to prepare and try and upgrade the show as we do it. Next week on the program, we're going to be able to look forward to seeing some video clips. Well, we have guys up like Jason White. we'll be able to not only see and hear Jay if you're tuned in on our YouTube channel, you'll be also able to see some video clips as we have them on, trying to make the show a little bit more user-friendly, a little more watchability as opposed to just watching some old guy talk about racing. We've got a lot of great guests, and I know we look forward to upgrading things as we go. And don't forget about Rev TV Canada. We could be putting something together with those guys as well, where Racetime Radio could appear on Rev TV Canada, right across the full network here in Canada. Love dealing with Mike Garrow and his whole group. A bunch of true professionals. Seen that ice race this weekend. That was kind of cool to see it. Travis Pastrana was here. He didn't finish up real good. I think there was, I want to say there was either eight or nine cars in the race. And Travis, I think, finished like sixth. Didn't get the launch that he wanted. Seemed the last chance qualifier. Oh, man. I'll tell you what, those guys were getting it on. There was only 3 cars in the last chance qualifier. All 3 of them wrecked on lap number 1. And the snowbanks just flew. Cars got damaged pretty good, and then they went, and they had 2 of them fixed up enough that they could battle it out. And the one guy did qualify and make it into the race. The other 2 sadly had to pack up and head out. Their next Canadian event, which you'll be able to catch on Rev TV Canada, I might add, is coming up in Calgary, I believe, and you'll be able to watch that. It'll be quite interesting to see some of the ice racing that takes place. And, you know, if Travis Pastrana is part of it, you're going to be entertained. It was definitely entertaining to watch it on Saturday afternoon on Rev TV. So check it out. But it's been a great show tonight. And talking to the guests, I know we're all excited for the NASCAR Pinty Series to fire off. And if you tuned in late, the Western Rattler 300 is all going to be live on Racetime Radio from Penticton Speedway out in British Columbia. I might add, their schedule is posted now, and tickets are available. So you want to talk about a great gift. You can go to Penticton Speedway, click on there, buy some tickets, maybe someone's birthday, or, you know, we get up to Father's Day, whatever. You can't lose. When you get tickets to a race, if you get tickets, you got something in your hand. It's kind of cool. And I know whoever you give those tickets to, whether it be birthday, any kind of celebration, it's kind of cool. And they definitely will appreciate getting those race tickets in hand. And I'm not talking just Penticton. Right across the country, so many good racetracks have got ticketing, actual tickets. If you're going to a speedway and you're getting this little receipt out of a cash register, you want to maybe look twice. They should. There isn't a major sporting event that hasn't got a ticket, and I know it's always good to have those tickets. By the way, Gary Elliott has got his diecast cars. The Quaker State 36 car, I know ours are in the mail. I was talking with Gary just the other day. Ours are in the mail, and we're going to have them here in the Racetime Radio studio, hopefully for next week, and I'll be able to show you. But they are up for grabs. So you can contact Gary on Facebook. It's Gary Elliott. Contact him if you want one of his diecast cars. You can't go wrong. They're beautiful-looking cars, celebrating 50 years with Quaker State on that race car. But we do have Junior up on the hotline. What's going on there, Junebug? How you doing?
Hey, doing good. How are you?
Good. How's the foot coming along? I know people are asking. So how are you feeling?
We're about, I don't know, 30% of the way there.
Yeah.
It's healing, but getting a little better.
Well, slow at it, right? You did a lot of damage there, stepping off that edge. And when you heard the pop, that meant there was something really going on.
Yeah, absolutely. Blew right front.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm glad that I wasn't there. You tried throwing some lights at me, I heard.
Wow, I'll tell you what, Junior, you are lucky that you weren't there. The one that's kind of over your head was the first one to drop. I thought there was an earthquake because there was lights falling everywhere. But I guess my tape let go on that one corner, and it took them all.
Who knew? Gravity and tape don't get along.
No. What I should have done was use that alien tape. That stuff works on everything.
That's right.
Well,
absolutely.
They're going to go back up. What's that?
Great show lineup with Cayden and Doug and Jason White. Congrats to his son over there at Horseshoe Valley. He's only a hop, skip, and a jump away from us. But yeah, it's great lineup tonight.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And talking to guys, Naugle, I messed up. I'm thinking he's getting ready for New Smyrna and he's going to do testing there. Not so. He was in Georgia. He's getting ready for Speedfest.
Yeah, absolutely. Speedfest is coming right around the corner. Going to be on Race in America. You can't say enough about Speedfest. It's grown over the past few years, and man, the talent list is deep over there. They pay out a lot of money, and they attract an amazing car count over there.
Oh yeah, the who's who are going to be there. You can guarantee it. Naugle fit right in with those guys. Nicholas does a great job behind the wheel of that 08 car. He has, and then he's going to head for the Smyrna Speedway and get involved with the World Series of Asphalt Stock Car Racing. How about your ear to the pipe? You're hearing anybody else? I see Mike Cormier is going to be going from the East Coast, I think.
Yeah, there's a name, the number 94 car in Pro Late model. I can't pull it off the top of my head.
Right.
But number 94, he's from Ontario, Canada. Going to be making the trip down. But other than that, man, I was expecting a couple more names, but excited to see how Glenn Stiers does. I know that whole WMI team have been working day and night on that zero car with Glenn Stiers and that team. He's going to be digging. He definitely wants more results than he had at Five Flags, but judging by how he did towards the end of the week over there at Five Flags, I think he's gonna bring a pretty decent bullet to the fight. So yeah, it's a little bit less than normal, but I think we've covered that over the past couple weeks. There's going to be a decent car count from Canada, but slightly smaller than normal.
I got a minute and a half left. I want to know how you're making out with Two Speed, your new job. I've been seeing lots of stuff on social media. You guys are going to be busy cats.
Yeah, Two Speed Motorsports is something that's pretty cool. It's for racers by racers, and we've got a really diverse product line. Corey McAllister and the engineers over there at Two Speed. Man, we're going to be bringing a lot of really cool stuff. Our official unveiling, I know, we're building our social presence and stuff like that, but our official unveiling is going to be at Motorama, where you can actually stop in and touch and feel and see the different products that we're going to be launching with, and there's a couple of surprises in there that people haven't seen. So, man, I know that lots of people already have the jack stands, lots of people already utilize the gear pots, but we have quite a few products that are going to be launching over there at Motorama. So get your tickets and make sure to stop by and see us March 10th through the 12th.
Yeah, and so quiet, I might add. Junior won't even tell me. He's keeping it that much of a secret. So going to be pretty wild. Junior, good to hear that you're healing up. And you keep doing the exercises on it. It'll come, man. It'll come. Don't get too frustrated.
Move the studio upstairs so that I can make it into the studio so that it's not down in the bat cave.
Ah, there you go. And you want me to really secure these lights before you come back, right?
Yeah, if you could use a screw or two, that'd be great.
Well, maybe you'll have to wear a helmet over on that side of that side of the studio.
No, we're good.
Clear. Incredible. Joe, thanks for jumping in. Good to see you. Good to talk to you. And I know we look forward to you getting healed up and getting back in here.
Absolutely. You guys take it easy. Thanks for having me.
You betcha. Joe Chisholm Jr. He is getting healed up, but we are coming to the top of the hour where we've got to throw it back to SiriusXM, and the programming continues here on the channel. So glad you could tune in tonight. Sure hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to hit subscribe, hit like, do all of that stuff, and share it amongst your friends. We surely appreciate it. But thanks so much for tuning in, and we will be back with you next Sunday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on SiriusXM, Channel 167, and on RaceTimeRadio.com and RaceTimeRadioTV on YouTube. Have a good one, everybody. Take care.
Thanks for listening. listening to RaceTime Radio. Visit us on the web at www.racetimeradio.com. We hope you'll join us again next time for more RaceTime Radio.
Come on now, dig.
Exclusively on your home for the